We're back to the Total Tutor Show, powered by the Simply G Media Network. TotalTutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, and also SimplyG.com. And I'm really excited finally to have another Real Housewife back on the show. It's been a while, and I always get into the reality thing and have a lot of blasts. I want to welcome the program former Real Housewife of Miami, Karent Sierra. Karent, thanks for calling.
Well, thank you, Neil, for inviting me. I'm happy to be a part of this great show.
Absolutely. And I've had a blast always with the Housewives and how you guys like to kick it back and different things. I've had Leah on a couple times, so I'm just excited to have another. So let's talk about the story. Now, did you always want to be in the entertainment field? A lot of people out there, that end up being reality TV stars never thought they would ever be on television. Was that your dream when you were a child to kind of be involved in that or not?
Well, I will tell you, since a very young age, around the age of 15, I started off doing competing in beauty pageants, local beauty pageants here in Miami. I was belonging to some modeling agencies, so I went to some castings. And I did, being that we live in South Florida, and I am a Hispanic woman, I did a lot of castings, and I was in some Spanish soap operas acting. And I did a lot of TV commercials in the Hispanic industry. And when it came around time to seeing this, I figured what a great way to get myself known in the American market. So, ever since I was a little child, I always wanted to be somehow in the entertainment industry, whether it was acting, hosting a TV show. I just never imagined it was going to be a reality show like the Housewives of Miami, but you never know the surprises that come your way.
Exactly, and the surprises are very, very surprising in certain ways. But I guess being a trained actress and being involved in all these different things, when they first came to you with the idea of being on a reality show, I'm sure you were hesitant because you've been in acting, you've been in all these different things. You're like, well, this is a little different. So, what was your response first of all when people asked you to do this?
I will tell you, my publicist came up to me and she goes, Karen, I have a great idea for you. She goes, they're casting for the Real Housewives of Miami. I'm like, what? I'm not going to lie to you. My first reaction was a shock. Just because the whole connotation and the whole idea of these housewives are that they're crazy, and it's so drama-filled and there's just so much cattiness. And I was like, are you kidding me? You want me to be on the Housewives? She goes, Karen, you have to look at the big picture. When she explained to me that, and I saw her reasoning behind it, she goes, people in the Hispanic market know who you are. You have your name established. In the American market, they don't know who Karent Sierra is. If this is what you want to continue pursuing, besides being a dentist, this is the best way and the fastest way to get your name out there. And truth be told, that is exactly the truth. Whether you hate these shows or whether you love them, whether you're a fan or whether you're not a fan of these shows, Bravo TV has literally done this wonderful equation, a wonderful combination of having success on these shows. And it's almost giving you instant stardom, instant recognition. So if you want to be able to pursue more of the acting field or more of the entertainment industry, it's the easiest and fastest way to get your name known. So once she was able to explain to me that part, I was like, okay, I see where you're going now. So unfortunately, it involves having to put up a little bit with the cattiness, put up a little bit with the over-excess drama to women, that have nothing else to do with their lives and just create fight. But I realized that it was a stepping stone and using it for a bigger purpose.
Well, Karen, and the thing is, when we talk about these opportunities, anytime we get the opportunity to get free publicity and paid publicity, we got to jump on it because now the popularity of that show, you get recognized everywhere, and it opens so many doors in so many situations. We'll get to that later, but we want to go to the story first of all. You're the one that has on-air experience. You're the one that knows how to act. You get thrown into here at first when you meet the cast and everything. Do you have an advantage, you think, being on camera because you know how to kind of take what you do on camera and off camera and be able to balance those things compared to other people that aren't used to that?
Well, I will tell you, as far as being comfortable in front of the camera, the cameras would follow me sometimes in my home, in my place of business, when we were out, I did not feel intimidated like some of the women felt initially because the camera was staring at them, because I am used to being in front of the camera, and I consider myself very comfortable in front of the camera. But one thing is, when they hire you as an actress, they hire you as a TV host, you know what you're doing, or you know that you're acting, and if you need to be a witch, in other words, or something else, you're being, you're being contacted as that particular role, so you're able to act whichever way they're telling you to. Now, although reality TV is not 100% real, shall we say, the audience members, or a big percentage of the audience members that watch these reality TV shows don't understand that. They perceive that what they're seeing is real. Even if you're acting in order to get better ratings for the show, or even if you're acting because you just want to become more popular, that's the mentality of some of these reality stars, that the crazier they act, the more popular they're going to be. So when you're dealing with that, I did not want to portray being the fact that, yes, I'm an actress, but I also have another profession, being a dentist. So I wasn't about to lose my reputation of I worked so hard for being a dentist, of sweat, tears, study, many hours. I'm just acting crazy when the perception, as we all know, 9/10 of perception is 9/10 of reality is perception. So that's when you have to, and I realize that, and I think some of these women didn't realize that. Maybe that was my advantage towards them. Because I do realize that this is reality, and people are going to perceive you to be that person that is being projected on that show. So I wasn't about to start slapping someone or punching someone or throwing tables or acting crazy, because although some of it could be scripted by the women themselves, the audience members do not know that, and they're going to perceive that that's really you, and that's the person that, that you are, whether on front of the cameras or behind the cameras.
Well, Karent, here's the situation. I talked to Mary Amons about this, and also Aviva Drescher, and they both flat out told me, they said that they had media experience in certain ways, Aviva with Fran, and also Mary Amons with her grandfather, and she understood that she's not going to ruin her brand by doing this. She's going to try to increase her brand, but she's not going to make a fool of herself, like a lot of them end up making fools of themselves. So you came in and said, you know what, I can't, so that no one's going to ever want to have clients for my dental business. That'll be gone. I can't do that. That reality TV is not going to pay me forever. So you had a game plan. A lot of these other women, they had no game plan at all. They literally are saying this is their 15 minutes of fame. Usually maybe their husband's famous, or they had a famous family member, or were born into money in certain aspects, and yet they just thrive off of being a star. You've already been a star, so you have an advantage. And I think that ultimately that leads to when you finally made the decision. But I want to get to the story, and I don't know if you thought I was going to find out more, because I just started watching the Real Housewives. I'm a Jersey fan, but then once I had Mary on, and I've had New York, and I'm starting to watch it more. So I had no idea till Leah came on my show twice to really understand about Miami. So tell us specifically, through these experiences, it kind of hurts you as well, because there's a lot more cattiness, because you were already known as somebody. You had that professionalism, and some of these women didn't have that professionalism, did they?
That's correct. And then, for example, one of the storylines, or couple of the episodes, during season 2 that I was on, some of the things were the fact that they wanted to bring up the fact of, you have a publicist, you're a dentist with a publicist? Yes. And I started explaining to him, and I understand their reasoning. They just wanted to try at all costs to try to make me look bad. So she was like, a dentist with a publicist? I don't get that. That's so ridiculous. And I'm like, well, Alexia, I'm trying to explain to you, I'm not just a dentist, I'm also an actress. I just, so now you're an actress. And they try to belittle you and say or do anything to make you look bad. And I'm like, well, besides doing a lot of TV shows, I'm also the national Colgate spokesperson. She was, you're a Colgate person? No, you're not, Karen. You come out in the background. And I'm like, and they feel so ignorant, because if they get their facts straight before they speak, they wouldn't sound so stupid.
Exactly.
Because I have a 3-year contract with Colgate toothpaste. And I can show you the contract. I am the National Hispanic spokesperson, so it just made her look even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because as much as she wanted to make me look bad for having a publicist, I had the proof, to show them. So it's like they just try to demean you and they try to put you down.
But you got to blame.
Ignorance is bliss.
But you got to also blame the producers. Honestly, they look at these storylines, they read these things up, and they see that you're a beautiful woman, and some of them are really fake in certain aspects, and that you're a career woman, you're not being supported by a husband. Again, I'm making these shots, not you, so don't worry about that. And when it comes out on especially I'll be tweeting out a lot of my reality fans that are cool with Mary and all that stuff. But Karen, it's a situation where they connive, they contrive and say, this is who I want you to attack. You're the one that is more confident about yourself. So why don't we gang up on her? So when this occurred, did you feel like you were blindsided in season 2?
Definitely, 100%, 100%. I did not understand where some of these women, I'm not going to say all, because Lisa Hochstein, Joanna Krupp, and Leah Black were wonderful.
I'm glad you didn't knock Leah, because I love Leah. So okay.
I love Leah. You know what? And I'm very honest with her. And she knows how I feel about her. At the beginning, I did not like her. I think a lot of audience members don't understand her personality. She just has an interesting sense of humor. Like she plays around. And at the beginning, I did not understand that. I truly believe, like with Leah Black in particular, to know her is to love her. You have to really know her. You can't judge her by what you see on the show. She truly has an amazing heart, and I really consider her a friend right now. But the other women, and you have to understand this, and I'll be happy to say it, and I stand by what I mean. I stand by what I say, is that some of these women, not all of them, even though some of them are married for that, but some of these women have nothing to do with their lives. They're married to a millionaire. Some of them are given these professions so that they look professional on a show, but they're given these titles of having a job, supposedly, of being an editor-in-chief of a magazine, when they never were, but they wanted on the show to look like if they were important. And so they're bored with their lives. So if the producers or themselves start planning up a scheme of let's try to make this film look bad, that's the only entertainment in their lives. So they try to do and say anything to try to make this other person look bad. The only thing is that they didn't take into account that the audience, is not dumb.
No.
And although they might believe them for 1 or 2 episodes, but when they're seeing the same routine behavior going on and on, they're like, wait a second. And they're not dumb. After a while, the audience gets it. And I think that is something that I tried to get me towards the beginning of the season. People didn't understand me. I was always smiling, this and that, and they were criticizing it. So audience members were siding with them. And after, they're like, wait a second, you're criticizing Karen because she smiles too much? I mean, seriously, if that's the worst thing you have, then I'm not doing too bad.
Right.
And it's that whole idea of killing them with kindness. I'm not going to give her satisfaction that if they're accusing or saying things that are untrue, why would I justify, those lies by giving them more time a day? I ignore it, I just smile it off and move on with my life and worry about the things that are important in life.
Exactly.
Not obvious lies.
All right, when we get back, more Karent Sierra, former Real Housewives of Miami. And it's kind of funny when I started reading up on this because I didn't know. I said, man, I guess you're cool because you're letting me really get the dirt on this deal, and I'll shoot out whoever is out there has no life. Honestly, when we find out, Karent, what some of these people are getting paid, especially when it came out, especially with the jerseys, I laugh. I said, you're ruining your entire life just to get your 15 minutes of fame and throwing yourself out there when they're not paying you what, let's say, Duck Dynasty's getting paid. So when we get back, more Karent Sierra. You're listening to the Total Tutor Show, powered by the Simply G Media Network, and we'll be back in just a moment. We're back to the Total Tutor Show, powered by the Simply G Media Network. Again, you can go to simplyg.com, but you also go for my website, totaltutor.net, Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, and I'm with Karent Sierra, former Real Housewives of Miami, and I find out I can ask any question. We're kind of getting into this, but I wanted to talk about when these women are ruined their whole reputations, is it really worth it? And I talked about off air about specifically like reality shows like Duck Dynasty going ahead and Duck Dynasty getting like $100,000 an episode, or remember John and Kate +8 making an absolute mint Kate. I mean, it was ridiculous. But then I hear about something, and people don't believe me, the one from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and Teresa, she was only getting, they were saying something crazy like her monthly salary is $3,000, and I'm like, are you serious? And they're getting ratings galore. Is it true they're really not getting paid that much compared to, let's say, someone like on TLC or on Discovery or things like that?
I will tell you one thing. It all depends on how many seasons that the specific reality show has been on and how well their ratings are. My understanding is the girls from Atlanta get paid pretty well. I will tell you, as far as, us being from Miami, we got paid less than six figures. So you can estimate there. And, once again, it goes back to the fact that although I may be an actress, if you're going to hire me as a reality star, you're going to have to add a couple more zeros to my paycheck if you want to make, want me to slap someone or make a fool of myself on national TV. They are not paying me way nearly enough money for me to want to ruin my reputation as a woman, as a professional, as a friend, for that amount. Written on that paycheck. Maybe if you have 3 or 4 more zeros, we can talk.
So here's the funny thing about that, and I agree, Karen. It's a way to kind of bring back your, but other reality companies. I wonder if Bravo consults with the WWE, because I was a former professional wrestler, and they don't pay them hardly anything unless they're the big stars. So people want their 15 minutes of fame, and you put me on there, and I'm a star, and then all my friends will scuttle. But I can't believe I saw you on TV, and then you can take pictures with people everywhere you go. Karen, you're used to that. You're used to being a star, and you're used to in the Latino market. So why you weren't striving? So they were willing to take you down any way they could, destroy you any way they wanted to, basically so that they could become the star. And that's pretty much what it was.
Correct. Absolutely correct. There's no argument in that comment that you just made. And you know what? Remember all these stations, whether it's Bravo or another station, or another studio, they're there to make money.
Yes.
And reality stars, some of them are smart enough that they're there to promote a business, they're there to promote a product, they're there to promote a brand. And then there's the other ones that don't care. They want their 15 minutes of fame because chances are their husband isn't paying attention to them. Maybe their husband has a mistress. Who knows what their storyline is. But they're bored with their lives and they'll do anything for any amount of paycheck. So it's almost like easy prostitution. They just want to be famous and they don't care how much they're getting paid for it.
Absolutely.
And that's what's sad.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And they're taking advantage in certain ways, in my opinion. I really believe that in my own heart they are doing those things. So I guess then you just had enough of it. You said, my gosh, they're attacking me, and this is not worth my money. I got my opportunity. I got my exposed to the different market. Now I'm finally in the U.S., really known, not just in the Latino market, so I can kind of create new brands and start again. So life after the Real Housewives, once you made the decision to leave, when the show's, it's reaching its peak, people are looking at you probably saying, are you crazy, Karen? You're leaving? Right?
Well, I'll tell you, it was the same discussion that I had with my publicist when she first came up to me, deciding, saying, let's cast for this, let's try this out. I had the same mentality all season long, even when I was filming. This is a stepping stone. I don't want to get labeled as a housewife, because also being an actress, if you're labeled as a housewife, and the only thing that they will know you for is for the time you were a housewife, then it's much harder to be able to cast for shows, for films, for different opportunities in the TV market, because they just see you as a housewife. So that being said, the fact of, and I knew it was only as a stepping stone, number one, that I wanted to get my name known in the American market, and that was achieved only with one season, 2. And that 3, I just didn't want to deal with so much cattiness. It was the best decision to leave after one season, to be honest with you.
So what happened once you made the decision to leave the show? What's going on with Karent now?
Well, I've been flying back and forth from Miami to LA. And I've been guest hosting on The Doctors. The Doctors is a national syndicated show. If you've ever seen it.
Yes, I love The Doctors, Karen. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great show. And actually, Dr. Travis Turk before he was on The Doctors. He was a reality star also. He was on The Bachelor. He was the Bachelor, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 seasons ago. And so he made it big doing that. And so they've been having me guest host. I've gone around 8 different times to guest host, and that is wonderful. I mean, as you can imagine, as an actress and somebody that's been in this TV industry for so long, arriving into Paramount Studios to actually work is a dream come true, I think, for any actress. So that's been lots of fun. I've been going back and forth there. And actually casting for a Spanish soap opera here that will be filmed in Telemundo, which is a Spanish TV station here in the U.S., so I've been casting for that and just listening to different people that have contacted me, approaching me to hopefully do some projects with me. And so just trying to hear them out and see what they have to offer and see if it's worth my time or not. So just trying to evaluate everything else.
So you feel that the experience in the Real Housewives of Miami has led to opportunities. That's what it sounds like.
Absolutely. You know what? I think you can never live your life with regrets. I do not regret being on The Housewives. I actually, believe it or not, I know it's a little sadistic for me, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went through this whole experience because, number one, I made some amazing friendships. I can truly say that Joanna has become one of my best friends. I adore Lisa to death and Leah. And, besides the friendships, it's the communication, the context that I was able to make through there. And like I said, it's thanks to the Housewives that the executive producer of The Boss realized who I was. And she says, oh, my God, I want her. She's a doctor. I want her on my show. So, literally there's no regrets. Although I had some tears that were shed and some frustrating moments, definitely never regretted being on the show.
Well, absolutely. And where do you see yourself? Where do you see your career? I mean, especially still, you are a dentist. Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself kind of having these dual existences where you're an actress and a brand and also a dentist? Where do you see?
Absolutely. I have my own practice and I've had it for over 2 years. I've never worked 5 days a week as a dentist anyway. I normally average either 2 to 3 days a week. The good thing is being that you own your own practice, you have the flexibility of choosing when you want to work and delegating some jobs and being able to do other things. So I definitely see myself, and I love the fact of having 2 very opposite professions. One keeps you balanced with your feet on the ground, and it's a very stable job. And then the other one is the frou-frou entertainment industry where you can, have fun and do something out of the ordinary. So if I can balance both careers and God willing, I can still, whether it's TV, film, anything that comes my way in the entertainment industry, I will be more than happy to balance both professions out.
Well, it sounds like it, and you're a very busy person with the many different things. How does your clients feel of you being an actress and being former Real Housewife? How do they feel, especially with you with your practice and everything? What do they get a kick out of it, or they
You know what? It's actually kind of cute. It's kind of like how you have these proud parents. My parents are so proud of all my accomplishments and all. My patients kind of become like my proud parents also. They're actually so overjoyed and they love bragging about that their dentist is this and their dentist is that. So I would say 100% of my patients are very happy about it. They love telling them, oh, yeah, my dentist is a housewife and my dentist is this and that. So it's actually very cute. They're very supportive. They're very understanding. If I can't see them on a particular day, I can see them the next day. So I have to say, you reap what you sow. And I've always, tried to instill my patients, number one, customer service, the best quality care. And they know that I truly care about them. And I've been receiving that in return regarding my other profession. So I have no complaints in that part. I'm actually very appreciative for the quality of patients that I do have.
Does it help your business stay busy and with waiting lists because of your celebrity status?
I must say that I've had some patients, actually, some that live in Naples, which is about 2 hours away from Miami, some from the Keys, and some actually from Tampa, that made appointments, and they confessed once they came that they wanted to just meet me. They were dying to meet me. So they came in for an exam, x-rays, and cleaning. I don't know if they'll come back, because it is about a 3-hour drive from Tampa, 3.5-hour drive. but they paid for the first appointment.
Yeah, so definitely cash, the cash business, and you never know. It's kind of it's a strange thing. They'll just want to have a story and talk with you. You'll say, "Open your mouth." Oh my gosh, when's the last time you brushed your teeth? Karen, I know why you have to have a balance. My brother-in-law's a dentist, and I'm gonna have to tweet him out as well, even though he doesn't really do the Twitter thing. I had one other story, but it's fantastic. Enjoyed having you on the show. What you gotta do is tweet me or text me or whatever. Have your publicist contact me when you have a new news to talk about. I'm happy also to discuss certain things involving dentistry if we want to talk about, education for different months with my education show. We'll definitely reach out and stay in touch. So thanks again, Margo. So,
great, Neil. It was great speaking to you, Neil.
Also, your website, your website to find info. I almost forgot. We had such a fun conversation.
The website is www.sierradentistry.com or sierradentalspa.com. Either one will take you straight to my website.
When are you writing a book? That's the question.
You know what? That'll be interesting. I have a couple of chapters already in my mind. I just need to probably add 3 more chapters before I can actually, propose it to someone. But I promise you one thing. You'll be one of the first to know.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Karent, for calling, and we'll stay in touch.
Great. Thank you, Neil. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, you too. Bye-bye. You're welcome. Okay, bye-bye. You're listening to the Total Tutor Show, powered by SimplyG.com, and we'll be back in just a moment.